Hey guys, so this week's vlog will be on getting a D2 student visa. Although it's not a very interesting topic or something that is very exciting, it's definitely one that I wish I had available to me. When I was doing the paperwork to get my visa, a lot of websites were very mismatched on the information. I wasn't really sure which documents that I had to bring. It was just heavily mismatched. As a disclaimer, though, this is only my experience. This is me no way telling you is exactly the documents you should bring and the process that you should follow. This is just my experience, and that I'm just letting you know. So, with that in mind, let's get started. So, as you may already know, to study abroad, you need to obtain a D2 student visa. You can enter Korea for a maximum of 90 days as a tourist, but you definitely still need the visa to study abroad. The visa is what allows you to legally study at the university abroad. I don't believe you need to have a visa on hand to enter the country. You definitely should get it as early as possible because it will make your life easier in the long run. So to get started, I should mention that there are actually two ways to get your student visa. My friend actually decided to work with a third-party company to get her paperwork done. Basically, they just gave her like a platform, a website to upload all of her documentation, and then they would submit it on her behalf. So she would not have to go to the Korean consulate in person in New York. Personally, I didn't do it this way because I thought that it was too risky letting other people have my data in their hands. Because the information is so sensitive, you'll have to submit your passport, your social security number, and they'll like your bank statement. I just didn't want this to be in the wrong hands. So this is definitely not meant to scare you. My friend did this with no hassle. She just submitted all her paperwork. Everything was done. She just needs to pay a little extra for the company to take care of all this information for her. The only difference between what I did and what my friend did was that I think she ended up having to submit a little bit more paperwork than I did because they listed some extra things that you don't really need to submit. I know that at some consulates you have to submit a little more information, and I think they may have asked her for more information just as like a backup. Um, yeah, but I'll explain a little later on, but we pretty much ended up submitting the same amount of paperwork. So, moving on to my process, I ended up going to the Korean consulate in New York in person to submit my paperwork. I'll put the address and the phone number somewhere on the screen. But yeah, this is where I went. I took the megabus up from Philly and then took a train from where I was dropped off to the consulate. It takes a little bit of walking after getting out of the train station, but it was actually really easy if you just follow Google Maps. So moving on to the documentations and what you need to bring, if you call their number, they do have a automated message that will list out the following documents of what you need to bring. $45, a stamp and express envelope, passport, completed application form, one passport photo, a certificate of admission, and a bank statement. If you want to pick up your visa in person, you don't need to bring the stamp and express envelope. Of course, the consulate is in New York, so you'll have to come back to pick that up. So I definitely decided to go to the post office and pick that up before I go. What I ended up having to submit was the $45, the passport, a completed application form, one photo, certificate of admission, a business registration certificate, which will also come with your Hanyang packet with your certificate of admission, and the stamp and express envelope. I wasn't really sure what I ended up needing to bring, so I ended up bringing more than what was required actually. That's why I ended up having the same amount of paperwork as my friend. I brought my immunization record, flight itinerary, transcript. That was just all backup. I didn't really want to take a second trip to New York if I ended up missing one document or two. So it's better to be over prepared than under prepared, but yeah, that was definitely the only things that I ended up having to submit. So once you get to the Korean consulate, you'll have to go to the information desk right away. You'll hand him your packet of information and documents. He'll look over your application to make sure everything's completed and go over the documents that you have. Um, so this will be the part where he tells you to make any extra copies if you need, like if you didn't have a copy of your passport, he'll just tell you to walk over and make some copies before he hands you a little number slip. So just like in the DMV, you'll get a little number, and you just watch for your number on the screen. And once that shows up, you'll walk over to the counter and submit all your paperwork for them to process. They tell you that you'll receive your visa in 2 to 3 weeks. So I was a little worried when I only had 1 month before my departure date. But it actually took 8 days for my visa to get mailed to me. That's pretty much it for this video. I just want to go over my experience with getting my visa and exactly which documentation I needed to bring. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching this vlog, and see you guys next time.